All right, welcome to another Monday night live Q&A. We are going to answer all your drone questions. Grab a drink, grab a seat, get comfortable. We have an hour. Usually we go through, 60, 70 questions. We have Tom today that's behind the scene over there that's sipping through all the comments to see if there are any good questions and then putting them in the chat for me. We have Ben and Ethan behind the controls over there doing the peanut gallery. And I don't know where Bo is. Bo is not there. Welcome. It's Monday. It's been a long day already, and it's going to be a short week, at least for us. 2 more days, and then Thursday is off, and I think Friday we're going to go work in the new building. So kind of exciting. New building update. We, I don't know how much, I don't remember how much we showed of the new building on this channel. We showed a little bit of pictures in the Friday night, I think, but I don't think we've shown any pictures. But there's a big stage in the middle of a very large room in that building. Stage that was part of the building in itself. The building was a live event building where they had concerts and everything. So there's a big stage in the middle of it. And that's where our office and a portion of the studio is going to be. So we've been trying to take down the stage kind of ourselves, actually, as a fun project. At first, we thought it was going to be easy, and then it became hard, and then we finally said, well, now we have to do it because it's hard. So we've been finding new techniques to destroy this thing, and we were in the building on Friday, did some work, and then we went back on Saturday, did some work, and we were able to get a big portion out of the building. And there is a ton of insulation underneath that stage, way more insulation than you would ever think. We filled up 40 bags and then 10 big tarps full of insulation, and there's still probably another easy 30 or 40 bags that need to be filled up. So anyways, that's kind of the update on the building at the moment. We're waiting for one permit. The architect has done a lot of the blueprints for what we want to do. The electrical engineer is doing his blueprint right now. I met with him last week. And then we have the mechanical engineer that's going to be looking at HVAC and all that good stuff. So we're in permitting / designing phase right now. And it's kind of exciting. It's moving along. There was some work that needed to be done on the outside. They finished that to seal the building a little bit better from the element, which is good because we're starting to get rain now in Prescott. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. Well, I did all of this, and I didn't say good afternoon or good evening to everyone in the chat. So let's take a look. We have Mike Cosivera in there. Curtis Warren. Joshua is here. Drone Lake guys with the bacon. No cookies today, just the bacon. Sergio de la Garza is here. We have Astores Media. Ed Rutledge is here, a longtime follower. We have Charlie William, Cousin Schultz, David Bauer, Black Sheep 12267. John Harris is here. Travis Cheney is here every week as well. Dean Schaefer, USA Drone Flyer, Captain Joe America. Here also quite a bit. Captain Storks, Vegas Aerial Services. Colin FPV, Fire Chief, Merlin Drone Services. Wow, a lot of you folks out here. I don't know who else I can see, but I see a lot of questions already and a lot of comments. So I see James is in here, Van Boeven. Nice to see you, James. And well, why don't we get started? Paul Chapman is here. Bill is here as well. What's up, Bill? Bill has been around for a very long time. Bill has been with us since, I'm pretty sure since the beginning, because I remember seeing comments from Bill way long ago. DE as well has been here. Alien Drones is here. What's up? Keith, are we going to see you at Oshkosh this year, Keith? Let me know. We're going to be heading to Oshkosh in 2 weeks now. The show starts in 2 weeks. Is that right? No, more than that, 3 weeks. So we have 2 more full weeks, but we're going to be traveling at the end of the second week, 2 weeks from now. So yeah, it's crazy that it's here already. We were looking at the schedule and we said July is pretty much shot because we're going to have to travel for Oshkosh, come back from Oshkosh, and it's going to be pretty much, and we have guests that are coming before that. It's going to be busy. So we've got a cool booth that we just got for indoors at Oshkosh. We have 2 different locations at Oshkosh. We have a tent outside with the airplane, our big tent, where most of the team is going to be. And we have a booth inside one of the hangars that's going to have all the high-tech stuff. So virtual reality, augmented reality, which is better done indoors. So that's where we're going to have it. And we just got a booth for it, and it looks really cool. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, I posted a video on LinkedIn of the booth and what it looks like. So
we also got something really cool in the mail.
Oh
today.
yeah, we did get something really cool.
It's on the shelf to your right.
We got a black box from YouTube. Let me see if I can pull a Ben and break it.
I don't appreciate that joke.
Ben broke the trophy for the... There you go, 100,000 subs. So, cool stuff. Thank you all. Thank you for watching. This doesn't happen without you for sure. So, I think the team was really excited to get it. So, we'll find a proper location for it. I don't know where, but probably on one of the sets. It's probably going to move around, but really, really cool. Keith said yes to Oshkosh. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, why don't we get to the questions and see what's going on in the comments. I see quite a few already. All right. Mike says, I'm a little concerned with the Canering CCP bill, videography being my main profession, drone pilot second. Do you think we should hold off purchasing any DJI product until this is resolved? No, I really don't think holding off on buying a DJI drone right now makes any sense, quite frankly. The reason is because all the bills that we've seen, the Canering CCP bill would not prohibit using current drones that you own, only future drones. So if anything, it's the best time now to buy a DJI drone because at least you'll have it for next few years where you won't be able to buy any other drone. I'm not saying this is happening, by the way. This is still a somewhat low probability of this happening. So, but we need to keep our eyes out. In the spirit of Independence Day, what is better, drone shows or fireworks for celebrating the holidays? Ooh, good question. I think it depends on where you live. I think drone shows where you cannot have fireworks, which I live in Arizona. We live in Arizona, and there's a lot of years where we don't have fireworks because it's just too dangerous for fires. So a drone show would be a perfect thing to do. I think drone shows are cool because they have the still very unknown, like something brand new format. I don't know if we'll get tired of it, but every time I've seen one, it's just absolutely amazing. So I'd love to see more of these all over the country instead of fireworks. Fireworks are cool, but I find them, after a while, they just get boring because they start kind of slow usually, and then they end up with the big finale. The big finale is cool, but everything in between to me is just kind of dragging along. So I don't know, maybe I've seen too many, or I don't know what it is, but yeah. Or you know what, even better, one of the best thing I've ever seen on TV, on video, was a drone show that had fireworks on board of the drones. That was in Dubai, I think. It was one of those countries over there in the UAE, and an amazing show with drones stacked up that had fireworks coming out of them, lasted what felt like forever, and the lights and the flash and the everything, that was just so cool. So my preference would be a combo of the two. What are your opinions on getting an Air 3? Should I wait for the supposed 3? Good question. I think at this stage I would probably hold off, although we haven't really seen any release dates just yet. It depends on how much you really need a new drone, but it probably doesn't hurt to wait. My guess would be another couple months, maybe. Again, I don't have any insider information on this. We do get the drones early from DJI, but I don't know. We haven't seen any rumors on the release date just yet, so we'll see. Colin FPV says, I've heard rumors of pilots that obtain the waiver to fly over people with drones under 3.5 pounds have restrictions of how high they can fly over people. What's been your experience? So drones that are under 3.5 pounds would need to have a parachute if they're over 400 grams. And yes, there are restrictions as to how high you can fly over people because of the parachute. The parachute system has a requirement to be over a certain altitude. So the FAA added a specific altitude to have safe deployment of the drone. So even if it wasn't there, because you're using a parachute, you would have to follow what's in the regulation. But I think that altitude is very low, so you probably don't want to fly any lower than that anyway from a safety perspective. But yes, I think that is correct. Fire Chief says, let me see. Good evening. My Part 107 renewal is next year. What is needed, like the test, a cost for it? Haven't found any information. The test is free, and I'm going to put it in the link right here. It's ALC 677. And what it is you go on the FAA safety website, you create a login, you create a password, and then you're able to basically go and take that test, and then you'll be ready to go. So for 2 more years. Has the drone ban bill cleared the Senate? It has not. There's no update as far as the drone bills, the few of them, but the one in the Senate has not. So I think we're still waiting for information, but at this stage, it's what you call it. They're on vacation or whatever it is. You know, they work so hard all year that they're taking a break right now, which is good, probably for the best. Is there a requirement for first responders to register their drone via the FAA drone zone? Yes, absolutely. Nobody is exempt from registering their drone. So yes, first responders have to be Part 107 certified and also be registering their drone. Flying planes recreationally, do I need to register every plane I may fly or just the remote ID module that I will switch between them? So when you fly recreationally, what you do is you register once with the FAA, and the FAA is going to give you a number that you're going to use on every single drone that you have. And then you'll put those drones on an inventory in your drone zone account, and then that's how you keep track of which drone is registered. And then you put the registration sticker on your drone with that registration number. But you have one number per person, and then you put it on there. As far as remote ID, you're going to register remote ID, the module, on your inventory as well as a module, as a remote ID module. And then you can use that for any drone that you want. You can swap them in between. Any drone flying over people must have propeller guards if they're not directly involved in the project. That is correct. That is correct. Ronnie Jr. says, can I still fly my DJI setup in Integra goggles in 03 unit, or do I have to buy completely new gear now? No, you can still fly. There's no restrictions on flying DJI drones at all at the moment. Only talks of. Ponder889 says, I am in Class Delta airspace. Lance will only approve until 9 p.m. The chart supplement states 1500 to 0500 Class D, otherwise Class G. That means I don't need approval after 9 p.m. That is correct, yes. So what happens is that most Class Delta airports the tower will close at a certain time. In your case, it's going to be 5 UTC time, excuse me. You're so good looking. No, that's a Seinfeld joke. So yeah, at 5 a.m. at 0500 UTC, it closes, which means that at that time it reverts to Class Golf, which is uncontrolled, which means you don't need approval. John Jackson, how many Chinese hamsters can power a U.S. manufactured drone before it becomes a national security risk? Ooh, that is a good question. That definitely needs to be brought into one of these meetings. I don't know. What's the ratio of Chinese hamsters to American hamsters?
What's their airspeed?
Depends. I want to see if anybody got my Seinfeld joke. Okay. Is it legal to launch a mortar firework from a quadcopter at 400 feet? No, it is not. I'm pretty sure there was a YouTuber recently that got in trouble. What's his name that has the Lambo? He's famous, but I don't know him.
Alex Choi, the pink Lamborghini?
Yes.
Alex Choi.
Yeah, Alex Choi. I think that was him. He got in trouble because he hired a helicopter to follow him and shoot fireworks at him from the helicopter. And that's a no-no as per the FAA because fireworks are classified as explosives. I think explosive, maybe not hazmat. So I think the same thing with drones. So no, you can't. It doesn't mean that people have not done it. Toasty says, it is far from toasty in here. It is actually a little chilly. I was doing a real estate shoot and needed to use a drone to do an orbit of a house. Briefly flew over a neighbor's house and they got pissed, said that I was spying on them. Was I in the wrong? No, you're not. This is unfortunately a pretty common sentiment towards drones. So you're allowed to fly over other people's property. Do it with care, do it with respect, and be respectful if people are in their backyard. But no, it's not illegal, especially if you were shooting something else or recording something else. Okay, next. Let me see. Gus 450 says, I've only had my Air 3 for a week and a half and my Temp 107 for a week. Now my 13-year-old wants a better drone. Do you have any advice for starting him out, like a DJI Mini 2 SE? Yeah, the Mini series, man, they're good. They have a Mini 4K now, which I think is based on a chassis of like a Mini 2 with a 4K camera on it, and they're pretty cheap. A Mini 2 SE is perfect. Anything that's going to have a GPS in it, any of the Mini series that are older, perfect to go. So the Mini 2 SE is getting a lot cheaper. So yeah, I would say go for it. Veritas Swivel says, is DJI banned? No, they are not banned. There's talks of banning them, but they are not. Joshua says, after completing the mapping in and LiDAR, I'm guessing he's doing dictation, the mapping and LiDAR course through the Pilot Institute, do you guys provide leads for jobs or connection for finding mapping jobs? No, not really. And there's a reason. People always ask, do we provide jobs for people afterwards? There's so many different verticals available for people to fly drones. And a lot of our students come to us because they want to add drones as a tool to their toolbox, meaning that they already have a business or they want to start a business that they already have experience in. So job placement is really difficult in the drone industry because you need specific skills. It's better to go to places that have job postings that you can take and then see if you qualify for any of them. But as far as doing the job placement, it's a lot more difficult than it sounds, if that makes any sense. Yeah, the community website has a lot of information, and if you're looking for a job, potentially post it in there. We have state groups, state sections in the community, so yeah, absolutely. OG replies, please stop spamming or you will be shut down. We will answer your question. Just take a chill pill. We'll get to it. There's a lot of people ahead of you. Romy says, please do a Pix 4D video rover class. Wait, Vidoc rover class. It's for GCP collection on mapping. I'll talk to Jared about that. I'm not familiar with the rover, although I love rovers. I think those are pretty cool. Bare Necessity Aerial Photography LLC says, congrats on your YouTube milestone. Thank you. What are your thoughts on the DJI Air 3S coming up soon? Not enough information at the moment. I think it's pretty early for them to come up with yet another Air 3. It feels like the Air 3 we tested yesterday. We were in Colorado with Vic at the Colorado event in November when we got it as a test. I think it came in November, somewhere in the middle of November. So this drone is 6 months old, the Air 3, and they're coming out with a new one already, which is nuts. So I don't know. I don't know the specs. I don't know what's wrong with the Air 3 at the moment. It's, I think, one of the best drones for the money, other than the fact people were not super happy that it didn't have a 1-inch sensor like the Air 2S. So if I were to, try to say what else would you want, a 1-inch sensor on the Air 3S, if that's what it is, maybe. Why make an S on the Air series, but they've never made an S anywhere else? The jump from the Air 2 to the Air 2S was massive in terms of image quality, in terms of everything. I don't see how they can jump from that to an Air 3S without taking away sales from the Mavic 3 series. So I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that this is even a rumor at the moment. Again, it could be a hoax, although pretty much all the rumors we see about DJI end up happening. DJI actually has an event coming up on July 3rd. And what the hell is that about? What is it?
It looks to me, and on Instagram they posted it was a dual post with a bicycle brand. So I think it's an electric add-on. So if you have a normal pedal bike, you buy their system.
Why?
And you can convert your normal bike into an e-bike, or it's an all-in-one e-bike. It looks kind of cool.
Man, that is a big departure from any products they've done before. But I guess they're doing battery packs now, so who knows?
And
but yeah, it looks like gears in there. There were gears.
Well, they posted it. It was a joint post with a bicycle company that was their first post ever.
Oh, really?
And it has only like 1,000 subs.
Interesting. A DJI bike. Is it stabilized?
Amflow bikes.
Does it collect your data and sends it to China? Is it gonna collect your heart rate data and your
probably?
Oh, maybe that's what they were onto something when they said that DJI drones were collecting body temperature. Maybe that's what they're gonna do. Use the bike as a probe to collect your body temperature. Well done, DJI. Well done. Sorry, I'm being sarcastic. The FCC put out that DJI drones were collecting heart rate data from the drone. Bad. We'll see. Maybe Ethan is right. We'll find out next week because it comes out on the 3rd, right? In 2 days?
Yes.
Man, that's
July
one they could
3rd,
have sent us.
2024.
I wish they would have sent us that one.
Avinox, and it's Amflow Bikes.
Amflow
is their
bikes. Oh,
collaboration.
interesting. Okay, well, we'll see. All right. Formerly Film Photography says, inside real estate videos, is the Avata 2 better than the Mini 3 Pro? You probably will be more comfortable. Well, it depends also on the style, but the Avata 2 has the ability to do a more level flight like the Mini 3 does. I would probably go with an Avata 2 just because it gives you more flexibility. It's got better ducting, I think, around the propellers than the Mini 3 would with prop guards. It depends on what you have. If you already have a Mini 3 Pro, go for it. If you want an Avata, if you want something that's going to also give you FPV footage potentially, the Avata 2 is going to check both of these boxes. What is your thought on the Bring DFR program? I haven't played with it. DFR is not my area of expertise necessarily. I know folks that have been around this for a very long time. There's a lot of DFR programs out there that have been doing this for several years. I'm not overly surprised that Brink is getting into this. It's a natural continuation of the products they've been offering to public safety agencies. So as far as what I think about it, I think it's clever for them to get into this, obviously. DFR programs are getting very, very popular. And like I said, many people have been saying this for several years that have been working on DFR programs. So it's definitely very interesting. But we'll see. The users are going to tell you if it's good or not when they start having it. But yeah, we had a discussion with Blake, who's the CEO of Brink, about the DFR program. So if you want more, it's on the Pixel Drone Show channel. So go check that out. Next, how do people on YouTube like Dustin Dunhill not get an FAA letter for BV loss videos, Part 17 or not? It's a good question. I don't know. I think those BV loss videos that are done rogue are just dumb, but that's just me. Shelby Jordan says, in your opinion, what is a good point of view to shoot a firework as close as possible or high and away? I would do a combo of both of them. It depends if you want to do photos or videos. If you want to do photos, I would do a combo of them. I think firework photos done from far away are good when there is a foreground to go with it. So let's say you were, I'm going to say in the middle of DC, but you can't fly in the middle of DC. But if there was a firework in the middle of DC with big buildings and then you have firework in the background, then it's cool because you have the foreground with the buildings and then they're supplemented by the firework. I think pictures of just firework get boring very quickly. So as far as videos, and so if you want to make it interesting, zoom in. If you have a drone with a 3X or a 7X, zoom in on one of them and get that, and then do a slightly longer exposure, maybe a second or 2 seconds to get the nice trail on the image as a long exposure picture. But Otherwise, try to find something interesting to add to the picture along with it. That would be my recommendation. As far as videos, again, it can get pretty boring over time. So try to get a lot of different angles, maybe switching between a wide angle with a zoom, something in between to kind of make it a bit more interesting. In your opinion, what is a... Oh, I just did that. Next. Has anyone attended the FA Drone and AAM Symposium in the past? This year is July 30th in Baltimore. I attended one of those one year. I don't remember what year it was. It depends on what you're interested in. There's going to be some good discussions, but the AAM market is growing very quickly right now. So my guess is that this symposium is going to be more on AAM than it's going to be on UAS. The FAA has put a lot of work into AAM lately. A lot of companies are coming up with a lot of big projects. If you live in the area, I would definitely go and attend. I don't know, I don't remember the cost, but for a floor plan, just go see what's going on in the AAM world, which I think is pretty cool. So I love my Air 2S. Is this one of your favorite drones? I know it is old, but it's still great. Absolutely. We used the Air 2S for so long. Until the Mavic 3 came out, it was definitely our go-to drone for a lot of things that we did. And then, yes, I think the Air 3 is probably better now with just the newer technology. Even the 1-inch versus the smaller sensor on the Air 3, I still think the Air 3 is better, but it doesn't mean the Air 2S is not a good drone. So I would still fly it. I absolutely say it was one of the best drones they've done. Do you know any specific information on whether the DJI drone that are grandfathered in will still be used for commercial use? Yes, because this will be, if this goes through, I need to keep saying if this goes through, this would be an FCC ban, which would ban new drones. It doesn't matter how you use the drone, it would just ban new drones. I'm still flying my original Mini 2 and believe I'll need a remote ID. Yep, any good suggestion? Find the cheapest remote ID module that you can find. That's really all I'm going to say. I don't know if there's a used markets for remote ID modules, but if there is, just buy one of those. When will we know about the theme of the July photo contest? I don't know, because Jillian was out last week and then she was not feeling too good today. So I'm not sure. I'll check up on that and then we'll be posting something in the community when that happens. Sorry about that. I signed up for your course last Christmas. Since then, I had 2 strokes. Oh man, John, sorry to hear about that. How long do I have these courses available to me? Well, the good news is lifetime access. So you can pick up whenever you feel better, John, and hope you feel better soon. That sucks. Hate to hear that. Colin FPV says, clarifying, what is the height restriction, if any, for flying drones less than 0.88 pounds with waiver over people? There's no height limitation. Fat B-Man with a PH. Fat B-Man. If I take photos of an event and post them on Facebook and then the event organizer shares my footage, would that be considered commercial use even if I took the footage for myself and I'm not being paid? It's all about the intent of the flight. So if you took footage for an event and then you put them on Facebook, then no, there's no problem there. It doesn't matter what happens afterwards. The recent Supreme Court decision overturning the Chevron decision could precipitate new challenges to FAA regulation. Think remote ID. Any thoughts? Ed, I have seen a little bit of discussion on that. I think it happened on Friday. I have to admit I am not overly familiar with the Chevron thing. I have an okay understanding of it. As far as repercussion with the FAA regulation, I've seen several people mention that, but I have to read up more on that before I can make a decision. Sorry about that. Am I allowed to record a car dealership lower than 50 meters with my Mini 4 Pro? You can record whatever you want, just as long as you follow the rules. So no flying over people, no flying over moving vehicles and all that, and airspace and everything. So, but as far as the subject in itself, yeah.
And then I think he specifically said the UK as well.
Oh, in the UK? I do not know the rules in the UK. Sorry about that. Yeah, 50 meters, he said, but 50 meters is 150 feet. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not an expert in European rules. Cloud Camper says, what is a Temp 107? It's a temporary certificate, which is what you get when you take your Part 107 and then apply with the FAA. And then before they give you your final certificate in the mail, they give you a temporary certificate. So that's what a temp is. What's the next photo contest theme? I just answered that. Let's do one more here. Wait, what's going on? Sky Curtain says, will they make a Nevada Mini? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. Well, I think he's talking about a smaller version of the Avata. Yeah, but at this stage, sub 250 doesn't really have much of a meaning anymore because you can get a waiver for sub 400 grams, which the Avata 2 qualifies for. So, good question, but yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Like just a little fun drone to fly inside. Can I post my videos from my drone on YouTube? Yeah, as long as your channel is not monetized and the intent of the flight is to fly recreationally. Can the Air 3 handle any light drizzle or fog? Typically no. So none of these drones are waterproof or splash proof or anything else. Fog is not a good idea to fly into anyway because it's a visibility limiting factor. So it's technically against the FAA regulation because you would lose line of sight. A light drizzle might be okay, but I'm not going to recommend it. Pulley Shortcuts says, if I record indoors for work presentations, do I need Part 107? Nope, indoors is not governed by the FAA, but it's governed by your insurance provider. Next, Squeak Aviation says, do you need any license or ID to fly a Mini 3 regularly? Also, do you need to be a certain age to fly a drone legally? I just bought a Mini 3 and I'm only 13, so I'm a little bit confused. Cool, awesome. 13, so 13, you actually are old enough to register the drone by yourself. And you need to take trust. Everything else is the same as somebody who's 20 or 40 or 60 or 80. So no real difference here. You cannot make any money at 13 because you need to be 16 to take the Part 107 exam and apply for the certificate. Let me rephrase that. You need to be 16 to apply for the Part 107 exam. You can actually be 14 to take the exam, but you can't apply for 2 more years. So yeah, I would say go fly for fun. At your age, register the drone, take trust, and then follow all the rules that you have to follow. But good luck. That's cool. 13 is a cool age to start doing all of this. You'll have a ton of knowledge by the time you're 16 and you can get paid to do this. One of my drone is the Phantom 4 V2. How do I update the firmware for remote ID? You just have to go in the controller and just do the update like you would any other update. Why isn't the government all over Apple since their watch collect heart rate and steps and whatnot? Because Apple is an American company. It's not a Chinese company. That's why.
Could you rephrase the question?
Yeah?
Why aren't they all over other companies like phone manufacturers to collect private data?
Oh, I'm not disagreeing at all. I think there's a lot more devices out there that are way more obvious targets to collect data. I mean, you can go online and see there was somebody that had a vacuum that was like connected to the internet that was actually collecting a ton of data. So why? Because somebody got paid to go after DJI. That's really the only reason why, quite frankly. Based on your experience, how do Autel drones compare to DJI, specifically Mavic 3 or Evo 640T? The Evo 640T is a great platform. If you can find one for cheap, I'm not going to say it's better than the Mavic 3T because I think the Mavic 3 is a slightly more recent platform, but it's definitely a contender. If I were to compare that to the Mavic 2 series, I would say hand in hand. The Evo series is a tank. It hasn't been updated in a while, so it's still a design from 2016 or 2017, I think. So it's getting older, but they're still making them, and it's definitely definitely a strong contender. So, yeah. Can I launch my Mini 3 Pro from a docking station on the DJI e-bike? Well, let's not get too far ahead of the e-bike here. Is it an e-bike? Ethan is like, it is an e-bike. That'd be cool. I don't know. Docking station is a little bit big, I think, to fit on an e-bike. We actually have one right now that we're testing, the DJI Dock 2. But that'd be fun. You can make your own docking station in the back of an e-bike.
Or motorcycle.
Yeah, just use a cutting board. Put an H in the middle of it. You're good to go. Are approved Fryas for 24/7 365, not just during CBO events? Yeah, I think they're pretty much on all the time. Now keep in mind that they might require access to private property that is not open all year or 24/7. But yes, I don't think the airspace turns off. Has anyone determined if the ban is passed and implemented? Will it affect DJI model already purchased? It will not, as far as the way that it is currently written, currently proposed. It does not affect current drones that are sold. Only new drones that would not be approved by the FCC. Should I get special permission to fly in Manhattan? You cannot fly in Manhattan. There's a lot of rules to fly in New York. I would say there is only a few parks where you're allowed to fly your drone in New York. Do not fly your drone anywhere else where you're not authorized. Very difficult to get permission, although there is a process in place that goes through the New York Police Department. Bare Necessities says, what are the best settings for firework? I'm using a Mavic 3 Pro. It's hard to give a specific setting, but I would say longer shutter speed, probably a second. Or, I mean, the longer you go, the more you're going to be able to capture in the shot. There is a limit where you introduce movement from the drone in itself. So you have to find the right setting, but 1 to 2 seconds on the shutter speed. And then I would put the ISO as low as possible. And then I would not have a filter on the drone. And then if you have the ability to change your f-stop, then use your f-stop to control the amount of light. You have to do a little bit of testing. It depends on the intensity of the firework. It depends on the amount of natural light that's coming into the image. It depends on a lot of different things. So give it a couple of tries, but you want to make sure you don't get anything that's like blown out, that has like so much light coming into it that it's completely blown out. Next. Okay. Yeah, I covered that one. Yep. 2SW33T. Okay. Music. Says, wanting to buy my first drone. Should I purchase an American made first to avoid all issues that may arise in a few years? The downside is that there's not a whole lot of American made drones that are good for a first drone. Most American-made drones are designed for more advanced type of work. They're going to be more expensive. So I would say no, because I don't think you can find one. That's really the bottom line.
I think their name says Too Sweet.
Ah, Too Sweet. I'm a little slow. That sounds like a vanity plate that you read for 5 minutes and you're like, what did it say?
Oh, it drives me crazy when I can't figure out what it is.
When you can't figure out what it is, yeah. Formerly Film Photography says, after I complete the drone business course, is there an icon or Pilot Institute logo I can put on my website? When you graduate from our program, there's a patch that you can download to put on your website that says Pilot Institute Graduate. I was thinking about, and then you can also go on LinkedIn and add your credentials and say that you were a Pilot Institute graduate. Over 1,000 people have done that now on the website, which is cool, on LinkedIn. I was thinking about filming fireworks in the distance. Are we bound by VFR, no flight after sunset? Well, you're bound for visual line of sight, I think, if that's what you're trying to say. So you have to be able to still see the drone. The same rules that apply during the day also apply at night. In addition, you also need to have a flashing beacon on top of your drone that is visible from 3 statute miles. And no, the lights that are on your drone don't qualify for that. Would this have an impact on VTX like the DJI O3? Yes, the new regulation would pretty much put a damper on anything that has FCC approval. That actually includes action cameras and gimbals as well, and transmission system and all of that. So yes, O3 or O5 in this case that would come out in the future would potentially also be banned in the US if that bill was to go through. Which URL do you recommend to keep updated on drone laws in Florida? I got my 107 recently, but I heard Florida has its own laws. Yeah, we created a wiki. Let me see if I can... Yep, there you go. Check out this link. It will take you to our wiki page. You can go and find state laws in there, including Florida, and then stay up to date with what's going on over there. Listening again and learning, paid for training, waiting for time to start studying. This is a fish aquarium. This is an aquarium fish channel. Oh, that's cool. You were curious last week. I asked a question. Oh yeah, joy of fish keeping. That's cool. What are you going to do with drones? That's pretty cool. You'd think you would want like a little submarine go in the fish tank. That would be cool. I always thought that was cool. I always want to get one of those underwater drone and then go find stuff underwater. But yeah. Bass Pro. No, like go in the real water and go find stuff. But I don't know what we would find around here in the lakes. I see those channels that do the magnet fishing, and then they bring back like grenades and all sorts of shenanigans. I'd be afraid to bring back a skeleton or something. Not with the magnet, but unless somebody had some work done. Okay, next. Does the Mavic 3 Pro have anti-collision light on board? Do I need to install them for night? They do not. You need to install one. The lights that are on it are not going to be good enough. Just order the Mavic 4P for Pro or Mini 4 Pro. I don't know. M4P can be one of. Yeah, what's to know and things to get. Guess what? We have. Wait, there's no Mavic 4 Pro. What an idiot. No, I'm an idiot because I said Mavic 4 Pro. It's Mavic 4. I have been saying that? Yeah, we don't have the Mavic 4 Pro that I know of. Did it come with the YouTube package? Anyway, Mini 4 Pro. What's to know and things to get? Go check out the free deep dive course that we have available. This will help you. It's on the website and it's free. ND filters for sure. I mean, I'm not a big accessories guy, so yeah, batteries and filters. Are you going to the Drone Expo here in Vegas? Yes, I will be there. We'll be there early. We have a booth, gigantic booth, right on the left side after you enter, right next to DJI. So if you can find DJI, we happen to be right next to them as happenstance, let's put it this way. And then we have on Tuesday, Vic and I and a few other people and Jared and a few others, we have a session where we're going to be talking to drone pilots. Is there a job board or specific website to go look at possible drone posts? Josh, I just answered that question a little bit earlier. I would say go to the community and take a look there. Please explain Air 3 over Mavic 3 Pro ? If you have the money, the Mavic 3 Pro is the way to go. You're going to have more flight time. You're going to have better image quality with a bigger sensor. So I would go for that. Although the Air 3, like I said, I think is still the best bang for the buck right now. But it depends on what you want to do. But the 3 Pro, I think, is a great platform if you have the money. Will you have any 4th of July deals on your classes? No. We only do a big sale once a year, which is for Black Friday. The rest of the time, the course is as low as we can make it so that it's still affordable. I know some people are doing deals for the 4th of July, but if you look at the deal, it's actually still more expensive than what we have to offer at $159. So, it's funny when you see companies that are doing a discount and they say, we're doing $100 off or $107 off the price. They never tell you how much it costs. Because if you look at when you take $100 off, it's still more expensive than the competition. So that should be a hint right here. When we do a sale, we tell you how much it costs, which is, X number of dollars. So our course is $159 right now, but I still believe it's a better deal than anybody else at that price or even slightly cheaper. Do you fly uphill over 400 feet, even if your drone is much closer to the actual slope? So remember, 400 feet is AGL, above the ground level. So as long as you maintain that 400 feet over the hill, then you're good. So from time to time, we fly our drone like 1,000 feet above ground, above takeoff point, which is still 400 feet or less above ground level. So you can follow the terrain. I know the DJI Mini 3 Pro is said to be able to fly in up to 24 miles per hour wind, I'm guessing. But do you think it'd actually be safe above that? You can try. I mean, here's the deal. The wind is designed, the wind limitation on the drone is designed to do what? It's designed to the point where when the motors are at maximum speed, trying to counteract for the wind, it's got enough speed in the motors that it can hold in place and maintain position. So if the wind is coming from this direction, the drone is going to orient this way and then try to stay in place. At one point, it reaches a maximum limit where it just can't do that. So what happens? It gets blown to the side. So it's not going to destroy your drone. All it's going to do, it's going to make it less stable, not be able to hold GPS, and then just start to drift. So it depends on how comfortable you are with not being able to hold position. It's not going to take it out of the sky, if that makes sense. So, yep. Does the Mini 2 need remote ID? Yes. It depends. It needs remote ID if you're flying it for non-recreational purposes. So if you fly under Part 107, it needs remote ID. If you fly recreationally and you don't attach any accessories to it, then it does not need remote ID for recreational purposes. Next, Cousin Schultz says, if the 13-year-old has a Mini 3 that is under 250 grams, why would he need to register it? That's a good question. Thank you for saying that. I may have misspoken. Yeah, you don't need to register the drone if it's flown recreationally. Thank you, Cousin Schultz. I had a brain fart. Cranial flatulence, like Vic would say. That's what old people say. He's not here tonight. Poor Vic. Is there an app like Air Control that works in multiple countries for requesting permission to fly in controlled airspace? No, not really. Other than Canada, I know Canada has an app that's very similar to the Lance stuff, even though it's not called Lance. There's not a lot of other countries that are doing this, so I would say no. For flying inside a hangar at an airport, how do you get Lance authorization, then unlock the geofencing? If you're flying inside of a hangar, you do not need Lance. You're going to need DJI approval. So I've done that. We did a deep dive in our hangar at the airport, which is literally, 100 feet away from the runway. And so what I did is I sent a message to DJI Unlock and a simple PDF where I said, we are going to be flying inside, let me fly. And that's all I said, uploaded, and then they unlocked the drone. So make sure you have that. In some cases, you can try to fly in there as long as you don't get GPS signal inside of the hangar, then it's not going to know where you are. So it's not going to give you the geofencing. But as soon as it catches that signal, so I did that on one of the flights with the Mini, and then I took off and it went just high enough that through one of the window, we have a window at the top of the hangar to bring some lights. It got GPS signal and then it said landing, and then after like 2 minutes it forced land. So I did all my shots as quickly as I could and then it forced landed. I turned it off, I turned it back on, I did it again, I did that a couple times, and then eventually I got approval. So it depends if you're going to get GPS signal or not. If you're not going to get GPS signal, then you don't need it. I hope this makes sense. Next, what DJI drone would you say is the best drone to buy for mapping and commercial purposes? Definitely the Mavic 3 Enterprise at this stage is the best drone, I think, for all of that if you want DJI. Christoph Kindred says, once in a while you see drone footage taken in another country on YouTube by Americans that clearly wouldn't fly in the US. Does the FAA care about that? Nope, the FAA only cares about American airspace. So you can do whatever you want in another country. That would be that FAA, the equivalent of the FAA in that country. They would care, but don't do that. Don't be an idiot. Don't be that guy in another country, okay? If you wouldn't do it here, don't do it over there. Do I need FAA permission to fly over a crowd in Texas? Yes. Anywhere in the country, you would need permission to fly over anyone. It can be either by having a drone that's sub 250 grams with prop guards, all of that sub 250 grams, or if it's over that but under 400 grams, you would need a waiver from the FAA. That is a lot easier to get now. Yeah, but yes, you do need approval. What is the current status of the NDAA bill in the Senate regarding DJI drones and other products manufactured by them and other Chinese company? What about the bill in the U.S. House? Everything is kind of on pause right now. So they're doing their summer break. So we haven't heard any updates. As soon as I hear more, we have insiders in a bunch of different places. When we hear more, you certainly will know about it here or on Facebook with Vic. Vic is also on top of it. We share a lot of information. I'm not too concerned with the threat of a ban getting through Congress. Have you flown the Autel Max 4T? Yeah, the Max 4T is a beautiful beast. Decent sized drone, flies really well. I don't know what else to say about it. We haven't done a full review or a deep dive of it, but yeah, it's a cool platform. Does it look like the DJI ban is going to be turned over, or is there to stay? Your guess is as good as mine at this stage on the DJI drone bill, on DJI drone ban. We don't know. We don't really know at this stage. Ben loves when I say at this stage.
It's my favorite stage.
At this stage?
Yeah.
How about the stage in the new building? It's not going to be at this stage anymore.
I hate that stage.
Bo, I think, hates it even more. Bo and I, we spend Saturday over there in those painting outfits, the whatever you call those. I crack mine.
I argue we were there on Friday, and Bo had so much fun he came back on Saturday
Yep.
when we have our day off.
Yep.
I stayed my butt at home.
Well, you
But
stayed
I
your
stayed-
butt at home on Friday too.
Well, it was rough. I had asthma. I was really acting up.
You. Wow, that's a good excuse, if I heard one. Okay. Whew. Next. From what I'm hearing, you can fly at night as a recreational pilot. Yes, you can. Absolutely. You just need to have a strobe light visible from 3 statute miles, and then you need to get airspace approval if you're flying in the airspace, and then fly all of the other and follow all the other rules as well. Will the Drone Expo have anything to do with ag drones, and will I be wasting my money going to it? No, there will definitely be ag drones at Commercial UAV Expo. It's one of the booming thing right now in the industry, so I would say absolutely. Could take your online private pilot course, take the test, then start taking flight lessons with an instructor. Yes, Wade, absolutely. That's how it works. So you can even do flight training at the same time as you do the ground school on the airplane side, and then take your written exam somewhere during your training, your flight training. There's 2 approaches. Some people like to get the written knowledge out of the way as quickly as possible, and then some people like to do both. I recommend doing like 25% of the course, then you start to get into flying the airplane and then continue the ground school at the same time. It gives you something to as a reference point, because sometimes I talk about things that happen in the airplane. So if you've never been in the airplane, it can be a little bit tricky. Somebody said they had a follow-up, but I didn't see it. Star Performer. To get passed by the Senate. Then does it go back to the House? So, Star Performer, your question is, it's still going on to get passed by the Senate. If it passes the Senate, then it doesn't go back to the House, but they have to go back and forth at this stage.
I think, what about the other bill? I think they were mentioning a different bill.
Well, the DFR bill is in the House right now.
Yeah, I think that's-
So that goes up but it doesn't go back to the House. That's the one I was talking about. The one from the Senate is a competing bill with the other one on the House side, so they have to come to an agreement to see what's going to come out of that. So there's still a lot of work to be done for this. Whew! How are we doing? 5 more minutes left.
We also have Apple TV if you want to show the new building.
Show what?
The pictures of the new building.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's show pictures. Star performances. Main reason you removed the main stage in the new building. Yeah, we don't really need it. We need like an open floor plan, especially the stage is in the way of where the office is going to go. So it would put us too close to the ceiling, especially on the studio side of things, because the studio needs to has as high ceilings as we can. So it's just in the way. It's not a horrible looking piece, but it would be it wouldn't look good with it. So do you want me to share? Except if I do that, I can't see anything else.
Up to you, or we have more questions. It's fine.
Well, let me see if I can show some pictures here without showing anything too crazy.
Should be highlighted.
Okay, let's see. Nope. Here. All right, let's see if we can show you some pictures of the mess that we made. Except I can't see. Can you see the video playing?
Yeah.
I can't see it on my side though, so.
So a bunch of insulation sweeping up.
Yeah, so that's the insulation that was inside of the thing, which is nuts. And then this is the pile of dirt, of wood that we took out of the section. This is what we did on Friday. This is my kids playing. This is Bo having fun. This is us after we cleaned the whole thing, the stage. This is Bo taking
that bags of popcorn? Oh,
yeah,
no,
big
it's-
bags of popcorn, the itchy type of popcorn. And this is just one of the 40 some bags of popcorn that we took out. This is right before we left. We had cleaned a good portion of it. Now, where I'm standing here, the stage was there. And yes, all the walls are black. They're not going to be black by the time we're done. Although in the studio they will be black, but in the office section. So what you see in the far back, where there's that big light and still some of the stage, the office is going to continue into that. And then where I'm standing right here will be the studio. It's a construction site. It's hard to look at pictures and see what it's going to look like, but here's another one right here of a lot of insulation. So we've got another full day of work going on in there. That's going to be really nice. Are you still seeing what I'm seeing? All of a sudden.
Greg, you're live again.
All right. Hope you enjoy that. We'll have more as we go. As they start building walls, we have a bunch of walls that are going to be built in the middle of all this, which will be really, really cool. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. There's no asbestos in the insulation. It was tested. That's more insulation than we would use here in Minnesota. Yeah, I guess they didn't want their feet cold. Now, I think we figured out that, and not only that, but this stage was built like a freaking tank. Bo and I, we decided that you can probably fit an entire car on top of this stage easily. I think the 2x, it's not even 2x4s underneath. They're using those I-frame, like those beams, I don't know what they're called, that you use to build a deck. And they use that on top of 2x6s with screws every 2 inches, it feels like. And then they use 1 1/8 plywood to make the steps. The steps took us the longest to freaking like destroy. And then 16 on centers. I'm pretty sure everything is built 16 on center, plus all the insulation in between. And then they put plywood on top of it. And then they put another layer to hide the screws and then carpet on top. So we couldn't even get to the screws because everything was glued on top of the screws. So we had to destroy everything. So we're going in there with 12-inch long blades on a saw, on a reciprocating saw, and basically just cutting through all those ribs and taking them out. So a lot of good eye joist. Yes, thank you. Eye joist. I've used them before. I don't know the technical term, but yeah, those things are solid. They build. This thing is built like a tank. The steps, I could not believe they use 1.125 thick construction plywood, really solid plywood, to build all of the steps. So we went in there. You had fun. Bo had a lot of fun with the hammer to take all of these out. So yeah, we thought Godzilla would be a good idea to go in there. Yeah, that stage was going to outlive the entire building by 1,000,000 years. There could be an earthquake. There could be whatever you want. And then they nailed everything into the concrete with big nails. I don't know where it was going to go because there's no way that stage is 5,000 pounds easily, probably even more. So anyways.
You ready for rapid fire questions?
Rapid fire questions. Go for it. Yeah.
All right, here's some rapid fire questions. Technically, can I fly the Mini 3 recreationally without any ID or license?
Well, yes. No remote ID needed, sub 250, and no registration needed, sub 250. Yes.
Would DJI gimbals be affected by the possible bill?
Wait. Well, I take that back because you still need to have trust, but no registration and no remote ID.
But the trust
What's the
test.
other one?
Would DJI gimbals be affected by the possible bill?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the ND, not the NDA. Well, the CCCP one would affect it because it's FCC approval, and that would affect all DJI products that have FCC approval. And gimbals do because they connect to your phone using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi.
How many C's are in that CCCCP?
Well, it's the Cantering CCP Act, so there's 3 C's. The first
Okay.
C is Cantering. The CCP is Chinese Communist Party. That's 3, plus a C in the front for Cantering.
I enrolled in your program over a year ago, then got really busy. Can I log back in and start again?
Yes, you can have lifetime access.
Do you have to show your state ID if approached by a cop when flying a drone
Yes.
legally?
Yes. Yep. That's in Part 107 regulation.
And that is it. End of questions.
Bam. Somebody says put Godzilla to work. His name is Bozilla, and I guess Tom would be Godzilla. Tomzilla. We need to bring Tom in there. Tom would do some serious damage in the building. If anybody wants to join, I'll be out there on Friday. So if you guys want to come take insulation down and some plywood, feel free to join me. Grand pianos weigh 1,200 pounds. Yes, I agree. Grand pianos are really heavy. Fun fact: I redid an entire baby grand, not a grand, but entire baby grand piano. So I can talk about all the moving parts inside of an 88 key action inside of a piano because I redid every single one of them. Fun. Okay. Well, I think this might be the end of it. Thank you all for watching. As always, we will have visits of the world headquarters at one point, probably, hopefully in October when we move in, which is right around the corner if you think about it. June is going to be done. June is done. July is going to be done in no time. Then we have August, September, and then here comes October. So, God, it's kind of crazy thinking that. But yeah, appreciate all of you. We'll see you on Friday. Well, actually, no, because everybody's going to be out on Friday. So no community on Friday. There will be a news update on Friday morning, but no community on Friday. I'll be in the building sweating my head off. And then a week from now. Yep, we'll see you on Monday for another live. Have a good weekend. Have a good 4th. Don't fly too close to firework. Don't be that guy. I don't want to talk about you in news updates. And get some good footage. Let us know. And we'll see you then. Bye-bye.